Alright, let's start this video off with the lights. Most of them are out. In this bay I shut them all off. And I have the lights on the inside of this. Easier to see. Yeah, the the cones are like scratched. And of course there's the ugly duckling, the center one. But you can see I talked about putting those braces up top rather than on the bottom. I had two on the bottom, two up top, or I was just going to put all four at the bottom. I decided to go up on top. That screwed me big time, kind of. Hopefully they act good, and hopefully that epoxy that I got will keep it together, because there's no screws from this part into them. Now on the bottom ones, there's a ton of them. I don't know, three each side, which they're not that tall. So they're screwed from the bottom and on the side, so they're bulletproof. And these ones, after I got it drilled in from the top, and I got to put this up and line everything up, my beauty rings are in the way. So I was like, shit, what do I do? So I ran that adhesive, and hopefully it will hold. If not, you'll hear clapping. I'll just have to call this a Eric Clapton box, I guess. But there you go. The lights are on. I'm just powering it, two little 9 volts. Looks pretty good though. Blue tint to it. That is a 1/2 inch glass. I wouldn't go any bigger with a 1/2 inch, just because of the flexing, and depends on the subwoofers. You know, if you're just running like a low end subwoofer, you can run 10 of them and have it a 1/2 inch this big. But you get into the bigger subwoofers, then you got to watch out, because it'll flex and it'll blow out. I got this thing sealed not only from the inside with that high-end epoxy, which was, I think it was like $12 for a tube, and it does turn to steel. I squared some on a piece of wood and tried to break it off, and I had to break the board to get it off. But not only did I ran a little bead first, dropped the window in, and made sure it was up in there. That way it didn't mushroom out. And this beauty ring is roughly, I'd say 2 millimeters thinner than that. So what it did is it pulled it real tight. It clamped it. So not only did I run a bead inside that, but I ran a bead on the outside of that. And then, you know, just enough that it'll mushroom, but it'll mushroom out this way. None of it came out, but more importantly, none of it came in here. And whenever I put the screws from the back in for these beauty rings, that way there was no screw holes in it, that beautiful birch, it clamped them. They're in there solid. I couldn't do a better job than that. Now I did say I was going to leave the paper on it until I painted it. I wanted to see what it looked like, so kind of went against my own word. But I think I did. It broke it up pretty good using that birch for the little braces. I'll show you what the box looks like as soon as I turn the lights on. Kind of looks like hell until I get it painted. I'll pause it real quick. Alright, that was quick. Blinded myself, but there you go. That's what she looks like in the daylight. I have not painted it yet, so bash it all you want. I haven't filled in any of these yet. I was able to get the sealed part 100%. You know, get the beauty rings on. Those almost look like scrapes, but they're not. It's just the way that birch is. It's a beautiful design if you look up close. That's why I love birch. It gives you some beautiful wood grain. A lot of times I call it maple because I get them mixed up. I work a lot with maple too, and rare cherry. But yeah, that's what she looks like. Looks pretty good. I'm really digging the Mad Max sort of rat rod look, with the paint like that, and still the measurements and the screw holes. It's kind of growing on me. It really is. The more I look at it, I'm like, man, I don't even know if I want to paint it. But yeah, who knows? I still got to hook up the ported section. So I'll show you the back here. I got shit everywhere. There they are, baby monsters. RESE. Look how big that is. You'd fit 3 fingers in there. Yeah, at least it's tighter than my X. But anyhow, there they are. All wired up, parallel, down to a 0.67. And I did the somewhat old school nut and bolt. That's the way I do most of them, because anytime you buy aftermarket ones, you get them cheap ones with a little 30 gauge wire hanging out of it. You know, these are bulletproof. A lot of companies remake their own big name for big SPL and stuff. That's basically all they are, is a nut and bolt. That's all they are. It's just a little trick for somebody that's like, what kind of terminal can I use? Just drill it through, use a nut and bolt. Just put this through, make sure you put a washer, you know, poke her through, and then use a washer on the other end. And what I do is I'll put another nut down here. Come on, focus. And I'll tighten the hell out of that one. That way it mushrooms everything there. And then I'll use this one for the regular speaker wire. That way they get clamped in there on a separate kind of torque setting. One with a smaller gauge wire, because this shit here was just too damn thick. I had to cut it down in order for it to fit these little suckers. I mean, these are really good subs, especially back in the day, 10 years ago. These were definitely, these are in between a JL W6 and a W7 for SPL type reading. But as for today's standards, you got 100-pound subwoofers and stuff. It's crazy. I mean, you can see the tensile leads aren't even sewn, which is, the sewing of the tensile leads is actually kind of a newer technology. To me, anything new is 5 years or newer. To me, is new. But it's got optimal venting. Of course, it is a spider type basket. A ton of companies run these baskets. You know, anytime you see them, it's pretty much a made in China part, just stamped out and shipped here and then assembled. You see, this is the used one. This is the ugly duckling. You see the surface rust on it. And these are the ones that are brand new. That one there and that one there. But they all read out clean. You know, this one, like I said, it's a little more flex to it. That's just because of the spider. Compared to these two are new. It's always going to be a little more stiffer until it works its way in. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far. Next step would be to hook this ported section to it. So this is a 4th order, you know. And I already had this part done for the other sub box, and I cut it exactly how I wanted it because I knew I was going to reuse this part. You know, it's kind of rough having 2 different sections, but it's simple if you know what the hell you're doing. Depending on how thick your box is and how sturdy you're going to do it, what you could do is cut a 2-inch. Actually, I'd do 4. That way you have 2 on the inside here and then 2 inches sticking out. And what you do is you pre-drill. This is my next step that I'll be doing. You know, and stagger them. You know, then you drill down in through and pull that piece up there, and then you got another 2-inch lip sticking out here. You know, and run some of that hardcore epoxy in between it. You put this one right up against it. Do the same thing over here. Up, 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 up. Now the top is, you know, make sure it's together, and you seal that sumbitch tight. You know, then it's bound as pretty much one box now. You know, and unfortunately, that's just the way things have to be built whenever it is a custom box, and it all won't fit in. It's either, hey, let's cut apart your car, or B, let's just build it this way and be happy with it. And this is the best case scenario for me. So, yep. And this is, I think 9 inches. Yeah, it should be 9 inches. And I got this bottom piece, which will be going on the bottom part here. So that will be getting screwed from the top down in. And I'll run that epoxy right along that too. So that thing will be bulletproof. And then this will go, you can sort of vision it like that. That's going to go there, and that top part's going to go up there. And there's more than enough room for the magnets. I made damn sure of that. That's how it's going to be, and this back part is going to go outwards. I don't know if I can find my, basically. Okay, you got your car, got your tire, got your wheel well. This is your trunk. Sorry, I'm watching my phone as I'm drawing, so it looks like hell. Okay, so basically this is what I'm doing. Actually, that back window will come right about here. This is the wheel well, right? I've got 17 inches right here. Okay, and I forget how much I got in here. I got it all calculated, but you see, this is the way it's going to be. It's like an L box. The box would be built like this, and the port comes up out through the back where the rear windshield deck is. And that's basically how the box is. And of course the subwoofers are like this, and this is the sealed section, and this is the ported section. Look at that, it's a Picasso. I like them apples. But yeah, I'm just dragging this video on and on and on, talking about stupid shit. But at least you understand what I'm trying to do here. And that's basically, it's going to be an L-shaped box, 4th order. I just can't wait until I run 4 to 6 15s in that car. But happy with the box. Sealed section is done. All I gotta do is bolt up the ported section to it, do some body work to it, paint it. I might not have time to do that before the show. But tell me what you think.